बट आई गेट वेरी सैड समटाइम्स कि क्यों मुझको मौका दर मौका ये समझाने की ज़रूरत है कि मैं कितना देशभक्त हूँ, मैं हूँ और हम सब हैं, एंड हम क्यों ना हों, हमारे देश ने हमको सब कुछ दिया। तो
It's been a wild week since the single of Pathaan Besharam Rang released. We went from only critically analyzing the film's teaser, discussing amongst one another the thin line between sensual and vulgar, and objectively debating about the quality of the choreography and song. What transpired after that was a vicious cycle of the omnipresent boycott campaign against Bollywood movies, but what was even more shocking was the reason on why such a mass protest online was being called upon. Whatever be the political motivation, this call for a boycott and in some cases people shouting to ban the film's release also was not due to the content of the film or song per se, but an ownership of color and morality and how it was aimed to hurt the sentiments. This is where it became abundantly clear that the criticism and outrage against Hindi cinema and specifically Pathaan is no longer even related to the content of the film, but digging so deep and finding any probable reason against the individuals associated with the film.
I don't think there would be any difference. I think that's what the point I was trying to make, really. That I've never been made to be aware through my profession or otherwise about my religion in this wonderful country. I find it really strange when I hear it also. And I don't think Amir has been made to feel any different, or Salman has been, or any of us. And Dilip Saab is Dilip Saab, whether he's Yusuf Khan or not. I think artists have this tendency to transcend. I mean, that's what I've meant, that art and artists do have this little tendency that you don't really consider who is from what community, what sect. You just like it or you don't like it. I would still smell as sweet, whatever name you called me by.
Everyone who had first seen the song and repeated it multiple times for the video or the beats of the music never created the correlation of Deepika's dress having anything to do with hurting anyone's sentiments, especially religious. And just like how the Streisand effect works in the world, the moment an obscure idea is brought into the forefront and is given due attention to promote and spread, it gives it a mainstream angle as if it actually was its sole and initial intention. Quickly, the content went from having a range of reactions from calling the song immersive to mediocre to poor to talking about identity, beliefs, and what can and cannot be allowed despite being a democratic country that exercises free speech. One of the main reasons why we fell in love with platforms on social media was because it removed the gatekeepers that control the narrative in mainstream media, and anyone having an opinion now can exercise it by presenting their opinion in a public space. An atmosphere that promotes discourse is always welcome, but when someone calls for a ban of the release of the film, that's when I am reminded of the several instances that have happened in the industry and even Shahrukh Khan's career. Before the release of My Name is Khan, there were huge protests to stall the release of the movie, an atmosphere that was created and was so unpredictable that even multiplex owners were hesitant to screen the film. The movie eventually turned out to be a box office success, as the love for the film and its content overpowered the ego and political tussling that was carrying on and had presumably enveloped the state. This is not the only case, as Shahrukh Khan dealt with a social boycott during Dilwale as well, where farmers from Maharashtra claimed that the boycott stems from the fact that farmers in Maharashtra were reeling under the drought, claiming that Khan, who had been residing in the state, has made a lot of money and not helped the farmers in distress. The film had an underwhelming response at the box office, which had more to do with the poor content of the film rather than this public outcry against the individual.
इस देश में, भारत में, जितना प्यार मुझे किया जाता है, मैं ये डंके की चोट पे बोल सकता हूँ, बहुत कम लोगों को किया गया है, और वो प्यार एक बात से या दो चीजों से सही गलत लोग समझते हैं. And I don't think that has affected me or my film.
There are very few times that the Hindi film industry has collectively stood together against the forces that are trying to ban or limit the release of the film. There was a popular instance where several directors, producers and actors came in support for the release of Urda Punjab, whose release was being stalled by not only political forces, but there was an active stalling of certifications so that the film does not release on its scheduled date. A case of providing a reflection of the evils that Indian society was plagued with through Urta Punjab was being attempted to be strangulated, because our problems as a nation is something we don't want to confront for some reason.
इस फिल्म को रिजेक्ट करने का हक जो है ऑडियंस को ही होना चाहिए. मुझे कोई वाहियात फिल्म नहीं देखनी, मैं नहीं देखने जाता, मैं नहीं टिकट खरीदता, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि जिस फिल्म को मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि यार ये क्या बेहुदा फिल्म है वो रिलीज ना हो, उसको उतना ही हक है फिल्म रिलीज करने का जितना मेरे को लगता है कि नहीं, मेरी फिल्म में कोई सेंस है, मैं अपनी फिल्म रिलीज कर रहा हूँ, उसमें और मुझ में कोई फर्क नहीं होना चाहिए.
Nothing, however, was worse or more toxic than what the makers of Padmavat were subjected to. Threats, violence, and even calling out bounties for body parts of actors associated with the film. The toxicity was unimaginable, and all under the pretext of the film hurting the sentiments of Rajputs. Whereas, quite on the contrary, the film showcased nothing but the pride and honor of the Rajputs, and turned out to become the biggest commercial hit from Hindi cinema of that year. This is when the large calls for boycott have nothing to do with the film's content per se, but are solely targeted in garnering media attraction and take away from what the film was intending to do anyway: entertain in cinema halls. What Shahrukh Khan did in the recent Kolkata event was very wise, in really putting the attention towards the positivity, those who love cinema and want to be entertained. Without specifically calling someone out, Shahrukh Khan said so much in being resolute that the love in a country as beautiful and diverse as us will live on and persevere beyond the hate on social media that gives us a false perception that this is the reality that we live in today. As the new song approaches for release tomorrow, let's see whether Shahrukh and Deepika become a national debate again in the coming days, leading to more theories coming out of the woodwork.
और ये बात बताने में मुझे बिल्कुल भी आपत्ति नहीं है कि दुनिया कुछ भी कर ले, मैं और आप लोग और जितने भी पॉजिटिव लोग हैं सब के सब जिंदा हैं.
And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what do you think about the atmosphere that is consecutively created around big Hindi films. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.